It was a brisk press briefing by the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhur Mahmud. Just take a look at this and listen very attentively. Let's do that together.
The Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, as a special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, our Chief of Defense Staff, service chiefs who are here with us, all of you are here, Director General of DSS, NIA, the Inspector General of Police, the Chief of Defense Intelligence, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Counterterrorism Center. I'm happy to welcome you all to the press briefing session. This briefing is organized to update you on the recent successes recorded by Nigeria in the ongoing efforts to decisively rid our country of terrorist groups. This press briefing is in line with our continuous resolve to keep the general public abreast with the efforts being undertaken by the Office of the National Security Advisor in conjunction with the services, intelligence agencies, and other key stakeholders. Today, I'm glad to inform you that we have successfully concluded a high-risk, intelligence-led counter-terrorism operation, which led to the capture of the top leadership of Jama'atul Ansarul Muslimina fi Biladis, Sudan, commonly known as Ansaru, Nigeria's Al-Qaeda affiliate. The group was first formed in January 2012 with a public declaration in Kano. It emerged as a splinter faction from Boko Haram, positioning itself as a humane alternative. However, its stated aim quickly turned into attacking Nigerian security agencies and operatives, civilian communities, and government infrastructure. The group publicly displayed the setting sun logo of Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, signaling its ideological and operational alignment with global jihadist movements. Over the years, Ansaru entrenched itself in both urban sleeper cells and forest enclaves across several cities in northern Nigeria and in forest-based enclaves, particularly around Kainji National Park, straddling Niger and Kwara states, as well as Benin Republic. The targeted operation, which was conducted between May and July 2025, led to the capture of two top Ansaru leaders who have been responsible for masterminding several terrorist attacks against Nigeria over the past years. The first is Mahmud Muhammad Usman, otherwise known as Abu Bara'a Abbas Mukhtari, the self-styled emir of Ansaru. He is the coordinator of various terrorist sleeper cells across Nigeria. He is also the mastermind of several high-profile kidnappings and armed robberies used to finance terrorism over the years. The second is Mahmud al-Nigeri, otherwise known as Malam Mahmuda, Abu Bara'a's proclaimed chief of staff and deputy. He is the leader of the so-called Mahmudawa cell hiding out in and around the Kainji National Park, straddling Niger and Kwara states, up to Benin Republic. Mahmud had trained in Libya between 2013 and 2015 under the foreign jihadist instructors in Libya, from Egypt, Tunisia, and Algeria, specializing in weapons handling and IED fabrication. These two men have been on Nigeria's most wanted list for the years. They jointly spearheaded multiple attacks on civilians, security forces, and critical infrastructure. Their operatives include the 2022 Kuje prison break, the attack on the Niger uranium facility, the 2013 abduction of French engineer Francis Kolob in Katsina, the May 1st, 2029 kidnapping of Alhaji Musa Uba, Umar Uba, Magajin Garin Daura, and so many other terrorist incidents and attacks. They were also behind the abduction of the emir of Wawa, and they maintain active links with terrorist groups across the Maghreb, particularly in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. The two men who are wanted internationally are currently in our custody. The capture of Abu Bara'a and Malam Mahmouda, the group's leaders and deputy commander, respectively marks one of the most significant achievements to date in our ongoing effort to rid Nigeria of the threat of terrorism. The successful decapitation of the leadership of this dangerous franchise marks the most decisive blow against Ansaru since its inception. This stride has effectively dismantled its central command while paving the path for the complete annihilation of this group. This feat undoubtedly exemplifies Nigeria's advancing counter-terrorism capabilities. The precision operation followed months of deep surveillance, human intelligence, and technical tracking, which demonstrate enhanced sophistication and seamless interagency synergy. Let me use this opportunity to inform the public that in the course of the operation, our security forces captured and recovered valuable, actionable intelligence. These include a cache of materials and digital evidence, which are all now undergoing forensic analysis. The findings from the analysis are expected to support our ongoing efforts to exploit this success, bring them to justice, and completely annihilate the residual of Ansaru.
Now, a criminal has no coloration. It has no Christianity, no Muslims. It doesn't care if you're a male or a female. It doesn't even care if you speak the same language. What they are out to do is to maim and to slaughter. Look at these two guys now. They have been the genesis of crisis, killings, kidnappings, terrorism in the north, just name it. These guys, they started from Kano some years back. That is why the military have consistently said, when you hear something, say something. Now, it took this long to get these two. We don't know how many cells there are apart from these ones. But the truth is that the office of the NSA, that the National Terrorism Unit is able to do this, and in collaboration with the Chief of Defense Staff and other security chiefs. It's instructive to say that these guys, what they did, two of the most wanted Al-Qaeda linked terrorists, they call their faction as Ansaru. And they are the top on the list, Mahmud, as well as Bara'a, he calls it. I've never heard that kind of name before, but Bara'a is his name. Now, what is going to happen to these two? They have been captured by the office of the NSA. That much that we know. But What is even more important is that when people like this are being caught, the credit goes to the country, it goes to you and me. It goes to the architecture of the security forces in Nigeria, the armed forces especially. So I believe that the time is ripe. We can, if we wish to, if we want to, settle all these causes of insecurity in this country. With this kind of success, you can imagine if we put our hands together, work together, the success can be even bigger than this. But kudos to the NSA, kudos to the CDS, kudos to the security chiefs. But we want you to do more. The securities and insecurities that is pervading in pockets of, the north, in the northeast, in the northwest, in the north central, these are things that can be nipped in the bud. The funding is there. So let's do this once and for all, people.